Well, again, we as much as you've been in the season, don't overdo it. So Sunday was normal, except we didn't need to prepare for teams to try to clean up some things we saw from the game. Monday's always an off day for us. We had some light work yesterday lifting, a really good go today. Our coaches will move into some recruiting, and we'll have some lifting and light stuff tomorrow, and we'll get back Sunday. So we kind of been here. It's not an off week academically. It's not been a ton of practice, although we need some in certain areas. But at the same time, we're a little beat up, so it's a little bit of you don't want to overdo it. So normally we'd practice Tuesday. We had lifting and light, some schematics. Not a lot of work. Today was a good, heavy, kind of a normal, maybe even more than normal, old-fashioned kind of good day. Tomorrow we'll go back to lifting and light. Friday off, Saturday off, except for rehabbing and classes, and then we'll get going Sunday and get back into normal routine.
When you're dealing with Xander, who probably was a year away, the reason why you wanted to redshirt him, and now you have to accelerate that learning curve. How challenging is that?
I mean, it's tough for all those guys. Now we've played freshmen every year, and it's tough. So you got to put them in good spots, play their strength. For him, the deal, a week ago, when he's third, you don't get a lot of reps. So the one gets 60, 65, 70%. The two gets 30, 35, 40, just based on situations, what you think they need. And then that third guy gets some individual, gets some. Sometimes we actually have the third guy go to scout team just because it's better to go over there and get throws, even though it might not be your offense. It's just better to go read coverage and throw the ball. So they get some work, but it's just easy to get out of time. And I thought the other day, more than anything, great opponent, first start, a lot of excitement, energy. He just was a little rushed. He was just a little out of sync, just playing a little quick, and the timing was off. We actually had some guys open, some guys coming open. We had some opportunities, but just not that he can't. I just think, no different than Don's golf world. He was just a little quick and just out in front of it, and he was just a little bit off. But it's those are things are correct. We had a tremendous week of practice Tuesday, Wednesday, but the stress level's different.
Right.
And now that the stress gets on, you fall back to some habits, and when you hadn't had as much work, some of those habits can just look a little flawed and off. So we're trying to work him. Even though we haven't tried to kill our team, we had tried to work those guys real hard because we felt both he and Nate need work, and physically, like, their arms aren't really tired. They're not, quote, over practiced. Or maybe some of your O linemen, D linemen, skill guys are maybe a little beat up. You don't want to overhit them. We've done a lot with those guys because we thought they needed it and they can handle it. So they're slightly different practice as far as trying to really, but even though you say it's game, it's just a different drop. The rush is coming a little different. You try as much to play at game speed. You talk about it. You try to practice at it, but still, when the game gets out there, it's just easy to get a little hyper, a little sneak. And that happens with young players a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he really hasn't been used to getting hit, and you certainly, given your quarterback situation, don't want to hit him in practice. So how do you? Again, isn't that a little?
Yeah, you don't hit them a lot. I mean, you got to be smart there. So no matter who it is, you can, but just the risk and reward of cheap ankles and knees. So again, they don't get hit a ton. They don't get hit a lot. I mean, you do some things with drill works where, when they're doing things and you're banging them with bags as they're feeling, you're throwing something at them, so you get them where they don't, flinch and blink where you stand in there. So you try to create that stuff, but him getting tackled won't change things. It's just, the speed of college football at a high level on game day is still a little bit faster than you are at practice sometimes. So it's just getting comfortable with that speed. And I was putting him in good positions. I was trying to time it up and be the same with Nate, be the same. It'd been the same with Chris Covington. Until you get out there, and that was actually part of Nate's problem this year. Getting guys timed up. It's just, every pass. That's the key to every passing game is rhythm and timing, and you got to fight to keep that.
How have the receivers sort of been impacted by all the changes the last couple of weeks? I mean, it seems like they were slow to, get on the same page with Nate. How have they sort of been?
Well, I don't know about the same page. No, they really did a good job Saturday because actually they got open, and that's some. I mean, we had some opportunities. Or again, just the rush, the timing, the quarterback, the rhythm. I felt better about them Saturday than I had in a couple weeks because again, the nature of the opponent, how good they are, and I was pleased with their effort. Now they don't have quote stats to show it up, but I thought their effort was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. How about Jason Spriggs? Know he got out of the hospital Saturday night. What's the story?
Yeah, he hit a guy. I don't know if you got someone. He hit a guy straight up and kept blocking the guy. I think when he hit a guy's head, got knocked back and didn't have any concussion deals. He's out there today. They don't want him to hit. I think he's got some high muscular stuff like between his shoulder blades. But it was really a good block. physical block. I mean, he's blocking down, boom, hit a guy. I don't know if you saw on TV. He actually even took a few more steps blocking, and when he fell down, all of a sudden it spasmed up. And our medical guys are always going to do a good job. It's in that area you want to be protecting, but when you watch it on tape, you're like, it didn't look bad. You watch him on the field, but he's good, and he should be good to go. We're not doing a lot physically with him this week, so he's one of those guys that the workload's a little different, but he's out there, and we'll see. I guess we'll know more Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but I would expect him to be good to go.
Is it like a neck stinger or
I
something
don't know.
similar
I
to
think it's
that,
more
or-
muscular. Wasn't a stinger down the side. I just think it was right. I think when he hit the guy, because he hit him face up, the way you're supposed to hit a guy, but when he hit him, his head went back. So I don't know if it's kind of a whiplash. It just kind of got right between the two shoulder blades there. It's I don't know. It's kind of the way it's been described to me. More muscular than anything else. So it's kind of like he's got a stiff neck now, more than anything else.
You talked about playing to the strengths of Xander. What do you think he can do pretty well out there?
I don't know. You can throw it. He throws it well. It's just getting him rhythm. So, sometimes when you're a smaller guy, what can you see? At the same time, you start moving the pocket around. So you get him outside the pocket. Well, then it's easy for coverages because they can cloud it and rotate and flood just half the field. So, we're going to kind of keep doing what we're doing. We got, again, you've got a lot of time on task. So it's not like even though you got an open date, you make a bunch of radical changes. I mean, the offense is what it is. We thought he fit our offense. Again, he is a little bit small. He's got to physically mature. He is young. He's got to mentally mature. But there's not like, we don't think he can throw the quick game. We don't think he's good at screens. We don't think he can throw it deep. You just kind of do what you do. And, each week it'll be what you can protect first. Because if he's running for his life, that's not good. So what are your protection issues? Then based on the coverage, what structure, what route concepts you go with, and then with that, what's his best at that? He prefers, in breaking routes versus out breaking, or underneath routes versus deep, whatever it is. You just kind of figure it out as you go. So, but I don't feel like all of a sudden there's half the playbook or all this isn't there because now he can't do things. It's just what do you need to attack the defense, and as you go through the week, what's he comfortable with, and what you can block more than anything else.
And then when do you start dialing in on Michigan?
We're looking at it a little bit, and even the next couple. But the guys will go out recruiting here later today for Thursday, Friday, and we'll get it going on those guys over the weekend. Have a normal week. Now, it's normally Sunday you're coming off the game, so Sunday will be a lot more than normal. Or Sunday, like, hey, what happened in the game? What corrections we got to make? And it's an intro. This Sunday it would be okay. There's nothing to correct. It's full Michigan. So Sunday will be a lot different more than anything else.
What are you looking at correcting defensively during this bye week? A chance for those guys to kind of take a step back and regroup after giving up 42 minutes.
To me, again, they got worn out and tired the other day, but I still am concerned that we need to create the culture, attitude of playing hard, playing tough. I didn't like the other day. There was a couple of runs at the end. Again, they wore out, but they just kind of took it to us, and we got on our heels. So, Diamond Clark tries to make a play on the ball, and he misses it, but it's an aggressive play. We got to keep bringing those guys along. I'm disappointed there, disappointed in our physical play in the perimeter. That on offense, that again, we just have not been as physically good. The line is okay and doing okay. The running game's okay. But I just want to see our attitude and toughness continue to develop. And I didn't like, and that's the thing with this open day. We don't want to beat our guys up, but we gotta challenge our sense of pride and have some toughness that you need to play this game in this league.
You mentioned Donovan. What have you liked that you've seen from the cornerbacks, and what do you want to see?
They got to play. He's doing okay, but as a young guy and fans do okay, but we got to play better. That you got Tim Bennett and Mike Hunter been here for a while. And, we got to start making plays on the ball. I mean, a comment a couple weeks ago, how can you lead the nation in pass breakups and be very low in turnovers? I mean, you're in position, you're a good player, the call's been made, it's a good call, you're there to make the play. We got to make plays on balls. So those guys need to pick it up, and we've challenged our seniors. We need their best, and if not, we need to kind of keep working some of those young guys in the mix. So, again, across the board, our defense and team needs to just pick it up with some attitude and energy.
How do you deal with the mentality of your football team right now, Coach, in the sense of so many people out there negative about your situation with quarterbacks being out, those kinds of things? Obviously, kids hear that stuff.
Well, they're going to hear I shared with them the other day. I was listening to Coach Saban and Coach Kiffin talk about how after their a loss and a close win, how they felt their kids are in, because they're influenced by everyone, because anyone can just, hey, at so-and-so, here's what I think about you, and make you feel good, make you feel bad. So I think athletes in general are just under a little bit more public scrutiny or comment, so you have to deal with that. And that being said, don't let it affect you with your mindset of you're either too big for your britches and think you're better than you are, or you think you stink. and you're not good enough. So that's what with our team, like we just told them come off the field, we know we've got a good team. We've seen it. We might have had a few injuries, but everybody does. And you got to be good enough to overcome that. So that's nothing more than an excuse. And we told them immediately after the game Saturday, I don't want excuse guys. Don't want guys feeling sorry for themselves. You need to have a positive attitude, a winning attitude, a working attitude, and we're going to keep pushing and keep building. And you know, with the games remaining, you got 5 to go. We need to get every one of them that we can. The more, the better. We need to get back to playing like we're capable. We're a little bit different team, but there's still enough good players, enough guys have worked hard enough better athletes, one of the better players in the country. He's complemented by a great backup, a good line. We can do some things. And so we got to get our stops. We got to take care of the ball. We got to get our attitude, and let's go play as hard as we can in Michigan, see how we match up with those guys. We'll see as they come through this weekend that we'll get our game plan and get going. So my challenge to those guys is they work too hard, they're too good for them to get negative, and as coaches, we're not going to be. So at the same time, too, though, we have to correct problems. And so we got to stay on top of that.